Then I was given a measuring rod, as long as a walking stick. I was told, "Go and measure the temple of God and the altar, and count the people worshiping there. But don't measure the yard outside the temple. Leave it alone. It has been given to those who are not God's people. They will show their power over the holy city for 42 months. And I will give power to my 2 witnesses, and they will prophesy for 1260 days. They will be dressed in sackcloth. These 2 witnesses are the 2 olive trees and the 2 lampstands that stand before the Lord of the earth. If anyone tries to hurt the witnesses, fire comes from the mouths of the witnesses and kills their enemies. Anyone who tries to hurt them will die like this. These witnesses have the power to stop the sky from raining during the time they are prophesying. These witnesses have power to make the water become blood. They have power to send every kind of plague to the earth. They can do this as many times as they want. When the 2 witnesses have finished telling their message, the beast will fight against them. This is the beast that comes up from the bottomless pit. It will defeat and kill them. The bodies of the 2 witnesses will lie in the street of the great city. This city is named Sodom and Egypt. These names for the city have a special meaning. This is the city where the Lord was killed. People from every race of people, tribe, language, and nation will look at the bodies of the 2 witnesses for 3.5 days. The people will refuse to bury them. Everyone on the earth will be happy because these 2 are dead. They will have parties and send each other gifts. They will do this because these 2 prophets brought much suffering to the people living on earth. But after 3.5 days, God let life enter the 2 witnesses again. They stood on their feet. All those who saw them were filled with fear. Then the 2 witnesses heard a loud voice from heaven say, "Come up here." And both of them went up into heaven in a cloud. Their enemies watched them go. At that same time, there was a great earthquake. 1/10 of the city was destroyed, and 7,000 people were killed in the earthquake. Those who did not die were very afraid. They gave glory to the God of heaven. The second terror is now past. The third terror is coming soon. The 7th angel blew his trumpet. Then there were loud voices in heaven. The voices said, "The kingdom of the world has now become the kingdom of our Lord and of his Messiah, and he will rule forever and ever." Then the 24 elders bowed down on their faces and worshiped God. These are the elders who sit on their thrones before God. The elders said, "We give thanks to you, Lord God all-powerful. You are the one who is and who always was. We thank you because you have used your great power and have begun to rule." The people of the world were angry, but now is the time for your anger. Now is the time for the dead to be judged. It is time to reward your servants, the prophets, and to reward your holy people, the people, great and small, who respect you. It is time to destroy those people who destroy the earth. Then God's temple in heaven was opened. The box of the agreement could be seen in his temple. Then there were flashes of lightning, noises, thunder, an earthquake, and a great hailstorm. And then a great wonder appeared in heaven. There was a woman who was clothed with the sun, and the moon was under her feet. She had a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out with pain because she was about to give birth. Then another wonder appeared in heaven. There was a giant red dragon there. The dragon had 7 heads, with a crown on each head. It also had 10 horns. Its tail swept 1/3 of the stars out of the sky and threw them down to the earth. It stood in front of the woman who was ready to give birth to the baby. It wanted to eat the woman's baby as soon as it was born. The woman gave birth to a son who would rule all the nations with an iron rod, and her child was taken up to God and to his throne. The woman ran away into the desert to a place that God had prepared for her. There, she would be taken care of for 1260 days. Then there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. The dragon and its angels fought back, but they were not strong enough. The dragon and its angels lost their place in heaven. It was thrown down out of heaven. This giant dragon is that old snake, the one called the devil or Satan, who leads the whole world into the wrong way. The dragon and its angels were thrown to the earth. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven say, "The victory and the power of the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Messiah have now come. These things have come because the accuser of our brothers and sisters has been thrown out. He is the one who accused them day and night before God. They defeated him by the blood sacrifice of the Lamb and by the message of God that they told people. They did not love their lives too much. They were not afraid of death. So rejoice, you heavens and all who live there. But it will be terrible for the earth and sea, because the devil has gone down to you. He is filled with anger. He knows he doesn't have much time." The dragon saw that he had been thrown down to the earth, so he chased the woman who had given birth to the child. But the woman was given the 2 wings of a great eagle. Then she could fly to the place that was prepared for her in the desert. There, she would be taken care of for 3.5 years. There, she would be away from the dragon. Then the dragon poured water out of its mouth like a river. It poured the water toward the woman so that the flood would carry her away. But the earth helped the woman. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed the river that came from the mouth of the dragon. Then the dragon was very angry with the woman. It went away to make war against all her other children. Her children are those who obey God's commands and have the truth that Jesus taught. The dragon stood on the seashore. Then I saw a beast coming up out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads. There was a crown on each of its horns. It had an evil name written on each head. This beast looked like a leopard, with feet like a bear's feet. It had a mouth like a lion's mouth. The dragon gave the beast all of its power, and its throne, and great authority. One of the heads of the beast looked as if it had been wounded and killed, but the death wound was healed. All the people in the world were amazed, and they all followed the beast. People worshiped the dragon because it had given its power to the beast, and they also worshiped the beast. They asked, "Who is as powerful as the beast? Who can make war against it?" The beast was allowed to boast and speak insults against God. It was allowed to use its power for 42 months. The beast opened its mouth to insult God, to insult his name, the place where he lives, and all those who live in heaven. It was given power to make war against God's holy people and to defeat them. It was given power over every tribe, race of people, language, and nation. Everyone living on earth would worship the beast. These are all the people since the beginning of the world whose names are not written in the Lamb's book of life. The Lamb is the one who is killed. Anyone who hears these things should listen to this. Whoever is to be a prisoner will be a prisoner. Whoever is to be killed with a sword will be killed with a sword. This means that God's holy people must have patience and faith. Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth. He had 2 horns like a lamb, but he talked like a dragon. This beast stood before the first beast and used the same power the first beast had. He used this power to make everyone living on the earth worship the first beast. The first beast was the one that had the death wound that was healed. The second beast did great miracles. He even made fire come down from heaven to earth while people were watching. This second beast fooled the people living on earth by using the miracles that he had been given the power to do for the first beast. He ordered people to make an idol to honor the first beast, the one that was wounded by the sword but did not die. The second beast was given power to give life to the idol of the first beast. Then the idol could speak and order all those who did not worship it to be killed. The second beast also forced all people, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to have a mark put on their right hand or on their forehead. No one could buy or sell without this mark. This mark is the name of the beast, or the number of its name. Anyone who has understanding can find the meaning of the beast's number. This requires wisdom. The number is the number of a man. It is 666. Then I looked, and there before me was the Lamb, who was standing on Mount Zion. There were 144,000 people with him. They all had his name and his Father's name written on their foreheads. And I heard a sound from heaven, as loud as the crashing of floodwaters or claps of thunder. But it sounded like harpists playing their harps. The people sang a new song before the throne and before the 4 living beings and the elders. The only ones who could learn the new song were the 144,000 who had been bought from the earth. No one else could learn it. These are the ones who did not do sinful things with women. They kept themselves pure. Now they follow the Lamb wherever he goes. They were bought from among the people of the earth, as the first to be offered to God in the Lamb. They are not guilty of telling lies. They are without fault. Then I saw another angel flying high in the air. The angel had the eternal good news to announce to the people living on earth, to every nation, tribe, language, and race of people. The angel said in a loud voice, "Fear God and give him praise. The time has come for God to judge all people. Worship God. He made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and the springs of water." Then a second angel followed the first angel and said, "She is destroyed. The great city of Babylon is destroyed. She made all the nations drink the wine of her sexual sin and of God's anger." A third angel followed the first 2 angels. This third angel said in a loud voice, "God will punish all those who worship the beast and the beast idol and agree to have the beast mark on their forehead or on their hand. They will drink the wine of God's anger. This wine is prepared with all its strength in the cup of God's anger. They will be tortured with burning sulfur before the holy angels and the Lamb. And the smoke from their burning pain will rise forever and ever. There will be no rest, day or night, for those who worship the beast and its idol, or who wear the mark of its name." This means that God's holy people must be patient. They must obey God's commands and keep their faith in Jesus. Then I heard a voice from heaven. It said, "Write this. From now on, there are great blessings for those who belong to the Lord when they die." The Spirit says, "Yes, that is true. They will rest from their hard work. What they have done will stay with them." I looked, and there before me, sitting on a white cloud, was one who looked like the Son of Man. He had a gold crown on his head and a sharp sickle in his hand. Then another angel came out of the temple. This angel called to the one who was sitting on the cloud, "Take your sickle and gather from the earth. The time to harvest has come, and the fruit on the earth is ripe." So the one who was sitting on the cloud swung his sickle over the earth, and the earth was harvested. Then another angel came out of the temple in heaven. This angel also had a sharp sickle. And then another angel, one with power over the fire, came from the altar. He called to the angel with a sharp sickle and said, "Take your sharp sickle and gather the bunches of grapes from the earth's vine. The earth's grapes are ripe." The angel swung his sickle over the earth. He gathered the earth's grapes and threw them into the great winepress of God's anger. The grapes were squeezed in the winepress outside the city. Blood flowed out of the winepress. It rose as high as the heads of the horses for a distance of 200 miles.